Hari Om, Bhagavad Gita, Chapter 7, Jnana Vijnana Yoga. Recapitulation. Whatever we have seen. This chapter is the beginning that explains the term Tat of Mahavakya, Tattvam Asi. The first 6 chapters of Bhagavad Gita explain the term Tvam. Now, from chapter 7 onwards, we are seeing the meaning of the term Tat, Bhagwan. In verse 1, Bhagwan Krishna says, how a meditator can experience Bhagwan Krishna. Bhagwan Krishna can be variously said as self, consciousness, Atman, soul, any term you use. Everything is Bhagwan Krishna. I am going to use the term Bhagwan Krishna only. I am not going to say self or consciousness. Sometimes I may say Atma or everything, but I will use the term only Bhagwan Krishna. So please understand, when I say Bhagwan Krishna, those who want to take it as self, you take it as self. Those who want to take it as Brahman, you take it as Brahman. Those who want to take it as consciousness, you take it as consciousness. But everything is Bhagwan Krishna. So Bhagwan Krishna says in verse 1, how a meditator can experience Bhagwan Krishna. He says, Ye Arjuna, practice yoga, practice meditation. Take refuge in me. Without doubt, you will know me completely. This is what Bhagwan Krishna said in verse 1. In verse 2, Bhagwan Krishna says, once you know this knowledge, there is nothing more to be known. Because why? Because this is the knowledge of all knowledge. I will teach you this knowledge and realization. Then the question is, can this knowledge be obtained by all? In verse 3, Bhagwan Krishna says, thousands strive for this knowledge and reach me. Among them, only a rare one reaches me. For getting knowledge of any subject, first one must understand what is it, what is that subject. Then only you can get that knowledge of that subject. Hence in verse 4, Bhagwan Krishna describes its lower nature, that is Prakriti. Prakriti consists of totally 8 elements. 5 elements of nature, that is fire, water, earth, space and air. Then mind and intellect, 7. 8th is ego. Totally, Bhagwan's lower nature consists of 8 elements. Then in verse 5, Bhagwan Krishna says, the higher nature is the life principle. That is the consciousness which sustains this world. In verse 6, Bhagwan declares, Hey Arjuna, I am the womb and tomb of this universe. I am the beginning, I am the end. That is what he said. In verse 7, Bhagwan Krishna says, there is nothing superior to me. Like a string of pearl necklace, which holds all the pearls together, I am holding everything of this universe together. For a second, for a minute, meditate on the form of Krishna, black Krishna, wearing white pearl necklace with Tulsi Mala. Wonderful. In verses 8, 9, 10 and 11, Bhagwan Krishna declares that he is the dharma of everything. Bhagwan says, Hey Arjuna, I am the taste in water. I am the light in sun and moon. I am Om in Vedas. I am the sound in space. I am the Shakti in all beings. I am the sweet smell of earth. I am the heat and brilliance of the fire. I am the life in all beings. I am the discipline in the tapasvins. I am the eternal seed of all beings. I am the intellect of the intelligent. I am the brilliance of the brilliant. I am the strength in the strong. I am the desire that is not opposed to dharma. So Bhagavan says, everything is me. In verse 12, Bhagavan Krishna says, all beings or things are born out of me. They are in me, but I am not in them. So, everything is sustained by Bhagavan, created by Bhagavan. Bhagavan is not depending on anything. That is what he is saying in verse 12. In verse 13, Bhagavan Krishna says, in spite of my presence in everything, the world does not know me. Why? What is the reason? Bhagavan Krishna says, it is because of the delusion caused by the three gunas. That is Maya. Gunas are, we know, Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. In verse 14, Bhagavan Krishna says, "Hey Arjuna, it is very difficult to get over my Maya. Only those who take refuge in me can cross over Maya. If you want to get over Maya, the only way is to surrender to Bhagavan Krishna. There is no other way." Then the question is, are there people who do not seek Bhagavan Krishna? You know everything is Krishna, but are there people who do not seek Krishna? Bhagavan Krishna says in verse 15, the lowest among men, people having animalistic nature, they do not seek me. Why? What is the reason? Their discriminative power is robbed away by Maya, and they go after the sense pleasures of this world. That is why they don't seek Bhagavan Krishna. In verse 16, Bhagavan Krishna says, there are four types of bhaktas who seek him. One is Artha, that is one who is in distress. Another is Artharthi, who seek Bhagavan to fulfill his desires. Jigyasu, who search for Bhagavan in the Vedas or scriptures everywhere. Fourth is Jnani. So four types of bhaktas. In verse 17, Bhagavan declares, Jnani is the best among the bhaktas. He gives the reason, because I am very much dear to him and he is dear to me. In verse 18, Bhagavan Krishna says, all bhaktas are noble. Difference will be there. All five fingers are not the same. Each one is different, but everything is important. Similarly, he says, all four bhaktas are noble. But Jnani is myself. He has reached me like the river reaching the ocean. Once the river reaches the ocean, there is no further place to go. Similarly, Jnani has reached Bhagavan Krishna. In verse 19, Bhagavan Krishna says, only at the end of many births, one understands Vasudeva Sarvamiti. Vasudeva is everything. But such persons are very rare indeed. In verse 20, Bhagavan Krishna says, who are the people who go to the other gods? People whose discriminative intellect is robbed away by desires go to other gods. That is, they seek wealth, power, and whatever it is, the worldly desires. They go after that. In verse 21, Bhagavan Krishna says, whatever form one worships with faith, I make that faith very firm. In verse 22, Bhagavan Krishna says, because of that faith, the person worships that Devata and gets his desires, worldly desires, fulfilled, not knowing that whatever is given by that Devata, that is also ordained by me only. In verse 23, Bhagavan says, the worshipper of the deities goes to that deity, and my devotee comes to me. In verse 24, Bhagavan Krishna says, only fools think that I am with form. They do not know that I am changeless and supreme. The form in which Bhagavan is appearing is for us to meditate and then reach the formless stage. Bhagavan Krishna, how can you put the entire universe in a single form? Impossible. It is like thinking that Indian map is India. Indian map is not India. Similarly, Bhagavan form is not the Bhagavan. Bhagavan, everything is Bhagavan. That is what he is trying to say. If if Bhagavan is everywhere, then why we are not able to see him? In verse 25, Bhagavan Krishna says, Are Arjuna, I am completely covered by Yoga Maya, deluded by Maya. People do not know me as unborn and imperishable. In verse 26, Bhagavan Krishna says, I know the past, the present, and the future. but no one knows me. In verse 27, Bhagavan Krishna answers, what is the cause for this delusion? He says, likes and dislikes are the main cause. In verse 28, Bhagavan says, who reaches him? Men of good deeds, noble deeds, whose sins have come to an end, get released from delusion. They reach Bhagavan Krishna. In verse 29, Bhagavan gives a way out for getting over the old age, Jara Marana, and death. Do not live at body level. Only body has got this 5 stages or 6 stages: birth, growth, disease, decay, and death. Whereas you move to the level of self, realize yourself as Brahman, the unborn and changeless. In verse 30, Bhagavan Krishna says, those who know themselves, not only as themselves as Brahman, they know the objects of this world are Brahman, the different devatas as Brahman, the rituals or actions as Brahman. They, even at the time of death, Prayana Kalebi, they know Bhagavan Krishna. They completely know Bhagavan Krishna. This is what Bhagavan Krishna says in chapter 7. Before ending, verse 19. Bhagunam janmanam ante jnanavan mam prabhatyate vasudeva sarvamiti samahatma sudurlabham. So Bhagavan says, I am everything. So everywhere I am there. If you are not able to recognize Bhagavan Krishna, the only way is to surrender to Bhagavan Krishna. Because with our, even though we have eyes, the eyes are completely blind, covered by Maya. So next chapter we will see tomorrow. Arihom Sarvam Krishnarpnamastu. Narayana 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 Narayana